Hello everyone, I'm Vincent Noël and I'm a researcher at the Computational Systems Biology of Cancer team at Institut Curie. And today I'm going to present you how HPC boosts mathematical models' promises of personalized medicine. So first I will introduce PermetCo, which is the project coordinating all this work. Then I'm going to present you our first pipeline, which is looking for drug synergies for cancer treatment. I will then show you our second pipeline, which is simulating COVID-19 disease progression, and then I will present you our future work. So first, PermetCo is the HPC Exascale Center of Excellence for Personalized Medicine in Europe. It's a consortium of 12 members from 7 EU member states, which is led by the Barcelona Supercomputing Center in Spain. And so the basic idea behind this project is that the simulation of cellular mechanistic models is essential for the translation of omic data to medical relevant actions, and that it should be accessible to the end users. So what we want to do to achieve this is to develop a roadmap to scale up essential software for cell-level simulation, and also to provide an efficient and sustainable entry point to the HPC Exascale upgraded methodology. So the objective of PermetCo is first to optimize cell-level simulation software. So for this, we took 4 different softwares: OpenCobra for metabolic simulation, Selenope for signal transduction network, MABOS for the stochastic simulation of Boolean models, and PhysiCell as an agent-based modeling framework. And what we want to do is to upgrade all of this software to enable to run them efficiently in HPC. Once this is done, we want to put them into some building block together with other tools, and then we will build pipeline to be able to answer specific use case. Then we want to train the biomedical professionals which will be using these pipelines. And finally, we want to integrate the personalized medicine communities into the European HPC ecosystem. So the first pipeline I wanted to present to you today is looking for drug synergies for cancer treatment. As an input, what we have is a list of genes. So it can be genes of interest from literature, or it could be coming from results from data analysis, or it could be drug targets. And then with this list of genes, using OmniPath, we will generate a prior knowledge network, and then create a Boolean model based on this interaction graph. Then with this Boolean model, we'll be using Profile to be able to personalize the model with either cell line or patient data. And then with this personalized model, we simulate multiple drug treatments with MABOS. And thanks to this, we obtain a list of single or combined treatments with associated efficiency scores. We also have another pipeline, which is using Dorothy and Carnival, which also generates a PKN, and then feed this PKN into machine learning methods. So we have 2 different pipelines, which will produce 2 different kind of results that will then be able to compare. So we simulated this pipeline, at least the first version of it, on Mare Nostrum 4 to be able to see some efficiencies. So first, this execution graph, where we can see that we first build our model, then personalize it in parallel on different cell lines, and then perform the simulation, and finally gather all the results to generate the report. We could also even parallelize this further by allowing the simulation of multiple candidates to also run in parallel. And so the objective of this pipeline is first, on the short term, to keep working on it and refine some part of this workflow. And also what we want to do is test the workflow on existing clinical trials and then compare the result of the model with medical doctors' decision. But on the long term, what we want to do is to provide a generic model including the main alteration in cancer, such as P53, KRAS, BRAF, or PI3K. Then run the pipeline with omics data of each patient, and with this result, extract combination of treatments per patient or groups of patients. and finally submit this recommendation to the medical board. The other pipeline I wanted to present today is about the COVID-19 disease progression. So what we want to do is we want to be able to model the cell types and the intracellular pathways, which has been identified as playing a role in COVID-19. And with this, we want to be able to identify biomarkers and therapeutic targets. And also what we want to explain is the severity in patients. And how we are doing it, we are using PhysiBus, which is the integration of MABOS into PhysiCell. So PhysiCell is an agent-based framework where we have individual cell agents. And what we do is that inside each of these individual cells, we will have a Boolean network running simulation to be able to integrate signals from the environment and change phenotypes or change behaviors. What we want to do also with these Boolean models inside our simulation is to be able to personalize them using single-cell RNA-seq data from patients with the software profile to be able to generate patient-specific logical models. Then the model we built is based on two collaborations that we have. The first one is with the SARS-CoV-2 tissue simulator, which is an effort led by Paul Maxlin, the creator of PhysiCell. And it's a model representing SARS-CoV-2 infection. It represents the virus, but also several cell types, such as the epithelial cells or the immune cells. And it's a very good phenomenological model, but it lacks mechanistic details, especially about the signaling pathways inside each of the cell types. Then what we want to do is take some models from another collaboration of us, which is the COVID-19 disease map. It's a massive community collaboration, which goal is to produce mechanistic maps, which are important in the context of COVID. It's a huge effort of manual curation. And the idea is that with these mechanistic maps, we'll be able to generate Boolean models that we will then be able to put inside our PhysiCell simulation, PhysiBus simulation. So the pipeline look like this. We first take our Boolean models and we screen potential gene candidates to be able to find treatments which would be effective in these Boolean models. Then, in parallel, we also process the data from patients to be able to generate some patient profiles. And then we use these patient profiles to personalize our Boolean models. And then we will simulate the gene candidates we found in the last step. And we will, by simulating the response to these gene candidates into our PhysiBus simulation. And we will also do multiple replicates since PhysiBus is doing some stochastic simulation. And finally, we'll do some meta-analysis to be able to generate a report about this gene candidate and these patients. So we also tried this pipeline on Mare Nostrum. So this is one example of execution graph on only 2 patients. So as you see, we first perform the analysis of gene candidates. And then we generate the patient profiles and personalize the model. And finally, we perform the PhysiBus simulation, which is the part where we can parallelize a lot of things. And so we looked at the performance and we saw that the scaling was actually plateauing really quickly. And so we investigated this problem and looked at this last block where we had a synchronization where all the fast simulation were waiting for the slow simulation. So we did a test without this last synchronization, and we were able to add decent scaling. And so we are now investigating this last block and how to fix this. So on the short term, what we want to do with this pipeline is keep updating the model and use the final version of the SARS-CoV-2 tissue simulator. Also include more Boolean models from different cell types. Also increase the PhysiBus simulation time, which was kept artificially low for these tests. And as I said, improve the last meta-analysis building block to be able to get better performances. But on the long term, what we want to do is first to be able to reproduce mild and severe COVID outcomes. And then ultimately, we want to provide the community with tools to predict disease progression. So finally, for our future work, what we are doing right now is starting community-driven benchmarks of cell-level simulation tools, so that we will be able to look for inefficiency either in our software or in others that we can fix later. Also, we are developing more use cases. The first one we are developing is of cancer diagnosis based on omics information. And we are also developing another one about tumor evolution based on single-cell omics and imaging. We are also involved in training. We are organizing regular seminars. For example, we'll have one at the end of the month where these two use cases will be presented in more details. Then we're also organizing a virtual course about signaling pathways and their integration into multiscale models. That will happen the 23rd and 24th of June. We are also organizing a workshop at ECCB in Barcelona, which will be about simulating cell behaviors. And so with this, I'd like to thank all the people who participated to this work at Institut Curie, Heidelberg University, Barcelona Supercomputing Center, and CSC. And I thank you for your attention, and I will take your questions.